What's up, you guys? It's VDX. We are recording this right as EVO Japan Top 8 is happening right now. And on the stage before the bracket began, they have announced the next Tekken patch. So today, the day of recording, it is May 10th. The patch is announced for May 13th. JST is the release, okay? So there are two things they wanted to talk about. There's the ranked matchmaking algorithm, which I believe, according to this, is updated, right? It says last updated. Maybe they're talking about the text document, maybe not. Okay, I'm lying. This is the text document. So what I understand is this patch is slated for release on May 13th Japan time, which means the release will be May 12th for those of us in the West. Okay, two things to talk about: the balance adjustment policy and the ranked matchmaking policy. Let's get started. Balance adjustment policy for version 2.01. In Tekken 8 version 2.01, additional adjustments have been made to address the game's attack-heavy balance. Alongside the previously implemented fixes for issues that could be addressed quickly, this update also begins to tackle longer-term issues, such as reducing air combo damage and reworking heat burst performance, which were raised frequently by players and required more time to evaluate. I am on the side of, I don't think combo damage is necessarily too high. I think that it's a bigger problem that combos last really long and every combo gets to the wall. I think there should be more decision-making on whether you're going for damage or going for wall carry. Previous Tekkens have really high damage, but how you access that damage is like context specific. It depends on, are you aware of your wall position? Are you aware of the max damage route? Do you sacrifice damage to get to the wall, right? So we'll have to see how they specifically implement it, but blanket combo damage reduction I don't think is necessarily what's best. Gradual adjustment of moves with excessive return. Now this I'm excited for. Following the previous update, balance adjustments have been made with a focus on the following points. Adjustment of moves where the return is disproportionately high relative to the risk involved. Adjustment of high performance moves that easily create consecutive advantageous situations and lead to one-sided developments. These are the two biggest changes. This whole can they save Tekken narrative that you may hear from more competitive players or people being negative about the update cycle. This is where most of that concern lies. You're talking about characters going into stance off of a running move, Victor, Leo, Jin are probably characters you see most commonly who do this, although it's a problem across the cast. Through these adjustments, the goal is to achieve a more balanced playing field across all characters and foster an environment where diverse strategies can thrive. Additionally, moves not targeted in this update will continue to be reviewed based on player trends and feedback, with further adjustments implemented as necessary. We'll have to see the details. This all sounds very good, but as we know, talk is starting to be cheap compared to what actually comes out. Reduction of aerial combo damage. In consideration of the current trend of increasing overall combo damage, adjustments have been made to the damage of moves that contribute significantly to particularly powerful aerial combos across all characters. Across all characters is a good point. It's a cast-wide issue. These changes are intended to increase the opportunities for offense, defense, and tactical exchanges, while also addressing the excessive disparity in damage potential between characters. Aerial combos will continue to be closely monitored, and if instances of excessive damage are identified, additional measures will be considered as appropriate. They talk about opportunities for offense, defense, and tactical exchanges. I think this plays in a combo length. I'm a fan of combo artists. I'm a fan of combo expression. I'm a fan of having fun doing combos. I think we've gone too far to one side where you get a launcher and it's a 10 to 15 second cutscene where the defender is really just forced to watch. And let's keep reading the patch notes. I'll talk about like new defensive mechanics, things like say a heat push block or a heat parry. Why I am not a fan of those. I'll talk about that after we finish reading the patch. Adjustment to heat burst performance. In light of the fact that during exchanges surrounding heat burst activation, it was often difficult for the defending player to evade the move with sidesteps even when anticipating the activation. The overall tracking performance of Heat Burst against lateral movement has been reduced. We've already had a nerf to Heat Burst tracking. Specific characters had egregious Heat Burst tracking after that nerf. This happened maybe I think in the 4th or 5th patch of Season 1, so back in like May or April. So they're nerfing it further, which I think is really good. The adjustment is intended to make it easier for the defending side to respond through movement or evasion, thereby enabling more interactive mind games that reward defensive techniques. This is good. Being able to sidestep things is a good thing. 3D game. Reduction of chip damage from Heat Smash. Given that the increase to maximum health has already lessened the impact of chip damage overall, this update limits adjustments specifically to Heat Smash, reducing its chip damage output. Rather than implementing a broad revision to chip damage at this stage, we have opted for a targeted response. Moving forward, we will continue to monitor match environments and player behavior and consider additional adjustments. This is interesting. They call it a targeted response. To me, this feels like a blanket response. All Heat Smashes, less damage. That seems very non-targeted. I mean, obviously, it's better than a full uncontrolled adjustment there, or like a huge blanket adjustment. But to me, the problem moves are specifically to the characters, like characters with charge moves, like Asuka's charge full crouch down forward 3, the Bear's specific running 1+2. There are particular moves that have way more chip damage, and I think that while chip damage is problematic, I would rather see those moves hit rather than all heat smashes. Future adjustments. The next update is scheduled for release in June 3rd. This update will include adjustments to certain character-specific moves that consume remaining heat timer duration, as well as balance improvements through targeted character tweaks. Building on the outcomes of the previous and current updates, we will continue our efforts to enhance the overall battle balance and ensure a more refined and competitive gameplay environment. Thank you for your continued support of Tekken 8. This is good. They acknowledge that the competitive environment is less than stellar for the people who are really serious about the game. Specific things about the heat timer moves I think is good. They have successfully put me back on the hook in terms of hoping that the game does get better, and it's hard to have an estimate of when it will be done. Again, we'll have to see the actual patch notes because the words that come out and the adjustments that come out have not always been in alignment. The second part of the update is reworking the ranked matchmaking. Now, I'm a little concerned about this because I felt like, in general, the update to Season 2 made ranked a lot more fun. It's a lot more difficult. And I hope they don't swing too far back to Season 1 where ranks were getting highly inflated and there was less of a skill gap between the higher ranks and the like tier right below that. I think the bigger the skill gap, the more challenging the ranked mode is, the more the top level players keep playing online. And that's one of the biggest appeals, is that instead of being like a Discord fighter, we can just log on and find matches at our skill rating. So I'm hopeful they maintain good skill-based matchmaking in a way that benefits everybody, but especially pays attention to rewarding the higher level players. Following the ranked reset and significant rank point adjustment implemented in Tekken 8 Season 2, we have identified the following 2 issues. Matching issues. Due to the rank reset, the ranks of sub-characters other than the main character have significantly decreased, leading to an imbalance in rank distribution. The current matching logic prioritizes matches with opponents in similar rank ranges, causing longer matchmaking times, especially in higher ranks. As a result, high-ranked players are often forced to play with sub-characters, leading to matches with significant skill gaps. Yeah, this happens a lot. It's really hard for me to find games at Tekken God. It's a lot easier to find games in blue ranks. So I will play my side character just to get matches, but I would rather find more matches at the higher level. But this is also a population issue. A lot of the higher rated players aren't playing as much because of the Season 2 design, like the game design. Second issue, ranked point fluctuation issues. Due to stricter point fluctuations based on rank differences and the change in ranked promotion bonus to a one-time occurrence, situations such as a match right after promotion becoming a demotion match are occurring. Even when matched with a similarly skilled opponent, a rank difference caused by a recent promotion can result in low point gains for the promoted player and significant point losses for a loss, increasing the risk of rematches. Is that a typo? As a result, we have recognized that it has become more difficult to rank up in comparison to Season 1. I'm honestly kind of okay with these. I get the frustration of promoting and then demoting right away, but the flip side was Season 1 had the problem where if you promoted, you could actually exploit that promotion buffer where you would demote on purpose, take the promotion, and then have more points. So they fixed that, but maybe they don't like how frustrating it's gotten going back and forth. I see that there is an issue on both sides, but I prefer that the rank system is harder. I think that's important. To address these issues, we will implement the following 4 adjustments. Mitigating point loss for defeats. The amount of points lost for defeat will be reduced for ranks from Vanquisher to Battle Ruler. I think this is totally fine. I like the idea of earlier ranks being a bit more generous and then having the more intermediate and competitive ranks being more strict. So I'm totally okay with this. I think it's more encouraging for these lower ranks to get more rank ups. I'm fine with that. Adjustments to point fluctuations based on rank differences. For ranks below Tekken God, the point gain for defeating a lower ranked opponent will be increased. Under the same conditions, a point loss for defeat would be decreased. This is, again, pushing people up. I have mixed feelings about this. The nice part about this is for higher level players on side characters, you'll get those characters to higher ranks sooner. So that is a good thing. But by pushing everybody up towards Tekken God, we run the risk, again, of having highly inflated ranks. Preventing immediate demotion after promotion. For ranks below Tekken God, a new feature will be implemented that prevents demotion in the first match immediately. So rank protection. This is common in League of Legends and in Fortnite. So it is a thing that I've seen before. The rank will be maintained regardless of the outcome, but this effect applies only to the first match. This feature will apply only to promotions after version 2.01. Promotions earned before that will not be eligible for this feature. Okay, so if you sat on a side character that's on demotion, it's not going to give you that shield. Okay, so it requires you to have gotten there. The promotion shield after 2.01 is implemented 2 days from now or so. Expansion of win streak bonus points. The range of ranks eligible for win streaks will be expanded from Tenryu to Kishin. For ranks at Kishin and below, players can earn bonus for 3 win streak or higher. This, I think, again, is to prevent the Smurf pain point where a higher level player on a lower rated character now can win streak and get out of the low ranks faster, or the mid-level ranks faster. I think these are fine. Obviously, it's going to depend on the details. As long as the top part of the ladder is still really strict and competitive, you'll see higher level players stay in the ranked mode. You'll get more matchmaking at the higher level instead of people just playing Discord matches with each other. And I am a fan of that. I'm a fan of the ranked ladder functioning, especially at a higher level. So this seems okay. We'll have to see how it plays out with the numbers themselves, but it seems okay to me. Okay, last thing, I said I would talk about this. I want to go back to talking about the idea of like push block, or how we deal with high performance moves that create consecutive advantageous situations and lead to one-sided developments. People have suggested, like, why not just let people like spend their heat to do a push block, or spend their heat to break a combo, or spend their heat to get like a super parry. Heat burst is already kind of like that, being a really, really strong parry. But I disagree with that approach for a few reasons. The main one being, when you think of these egregious Season 2 situations where Jin is doing a running 3 going into stance, then doing a dive kick that's plus frame into stance again, right? These looping stance situations where Leo does running 3 into Bach and then does the Australian breakdance into a plus frame low to loop the stance again, right? First of all, the risk reward being adjusted is a good thing. If you're going to get strong offense, it should be risky. I agree with that. And as we just saw in EVO Japan, the riskier the offense, the more the high-level players kind of dial it back, right? And are focused generally on safer strategies. We saw plenty of exceptions to that, but we also saw, like, Knees Brian, for example, generally not going ham on his heat usage and things like that, and preferring to try and hold his threats as long as possible. I think that stuff is cool. But if you introduced heat push block, or heat combo break, or heat parry, like super parry, you end up with a situation where it could justify to the development team to do more of these one-sided offensive strategies, right? Because there is counterplay, I guess we can put in more of these moves. That's why I don't think that's the right idea. We have counterplay to strong offense in Tekken. We've had it forever. It's backdashing, sidestepping, right? Those are our defensive tools. I think the more you add super strong new defensive options to counter the new super strong offensive options, you're just applying band-aids on top of band-aids. And truthfully, the old Tekken system was very elegant, right? They did a really good job of finding a way to give characters tons of moves and finding ways to teach people reliable ways to handle those moves, right? There are a lot of knowledge checks in Tekken. There always have been. However, the defensive options made it very clear what counters what. You duck the highs, you mash on the slow moves, you sidestep the linear moves, right? And on top of those base systems of what your defensive options are, attacking options were pretty standardized. Your mid poke is a 13 frame down forward 1. Your 15 frame is your like safe down forward 2 launcher. Your jab is a 10 frame move, right? They've standardized these things in a way that made it predictable. And visually, the game used to be very clear between highs and mids. This free-for-all approach to adding new offensive options and then stacking new defensive options on top of it creates the risk of just worsening the Tekken 8 problem, where every character doesn't really have governing principles anymore. We just have a free-for-all of moves that, yes, they have counters, but are not really reasonable, I think, for a lot of people to learn without doing a ton of homework. Before in Tekken, there was a lot of intuitive learning where you could play the game and figure things out as you go. I think that age has kind of passed as the attacker has been prioritized over the defender. So I think that designing the offense in a way that doesn't lead to these one-sided situations is the correct answer. Using the existing systems of backdashing and sidestepping, and nowadays with modern Tekken, Power Crush is the way to go. We run the risk of, you see, like we got Power Crush, now we get reversal breaking, right? Stacking these band-aids on top of each other just lead to more frustrating mechanics. I think the answers, we have movement. We should be able to use our movement, and I don't think a heat defensive mechanic would be the right answer. That's just my opinion. I'm welcome to I'm open to hearing other opinions on that, but that's my take. Anyways, that's the update. Coming in a couple days. We'll get patch notes as usual when the actual patch drops. I wish we would get them sooner, but they won't do that, so we'll just have to wait. Thank you for watching. Please look forward to watching more tournament coverage. We'll have Evo Top 8 on the main channel and the rest of Evo Japan specifically, on the second channel. That's all I have for you. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, please leave a like and comment. Subscribe for more. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.